Someone wanted to intimidate you, but they couldn't. I'm getting a very lonely vibe. Very lonely. Not you, but them. You know who it is if it's for you. You need to move on. But they don't want you to move on. They thought they were going to have something with you that just wasn't meant to be. I don't like making your mind think about this, so let's think of something constructive from this. And there is something constructive from it, otherwise you wouldn't be getting this reading. May your spirit show you what that is. Just going to keep going here. But you didn't do what they wanted you to do. Biggest mistake. They feel like they just came on too strong. Try to force you to talk to them or to have some kind of relationship, some kind of ongoing relationship. Friendship or more. But friendship is a bare minimum. Or a job. Someone wanted to force you. Anyway, they just didn't like the fact that you wanted to make your own decisions. That was a red flag and you know it, and that's why you left, huh? Very controlling, but very lonely. It's out of loneliness. And maybe your spirit told you that. That's what you need to know. You need to know that there were things about this person that you noticed. That no one told you, no one had to tell you. That's the kind of stuff you really need to start paying attention to. Your intuition's like a muscle, like all that kind of stuff, this energy stuff we do. The sensing, you know, what you would call psychic abilities, really it's like a muscle. You just got to start working it. And your spirit told you some stuff. Or this led you to something. There's some reason for it, communication. Somebody might be trying to contact you to communicate about this. Someone who may have experienced the same thing, who may be trying to connect. Even just might be thinking of you, but I'm getting someone just like crying out for help because they experienced the same thing. Experienced this person in a way other people haven't. Could have been a group. Aggressively controlling. Complete opposite of what so many people think they are. If this person has a lot of money, and I'm not saying they do, but they might. I've got a few like high-rolling, high-level money people going through my head. I'm not going to mention names. I'm just going to say this person would make people sign non-disclosure agreements. Oh, yeah. Self-medicating. And they can afford it. And if not, like I said, that's not everybody. That's not all of them. They may not be rich. They just might have the attitude of a rich person. Some of them also sort of couch surf. And people don't realize it. Look, there used to be a website for couch surfing where people do it voluntarily and they allow people on their couches. I don't know if that's still around. This person doesn't do it that way. They do it like with people not realizing it. And it could just be the energy of this, but someone who completely knows how to live rent-free on the backs of other people somehow. There are people who know how to do this, and I'm not talking about living in your car either. I mean, somehow they find house-sitting opportunities, but not like in the traditional way, just naturally somehow. Maybe they learned to survive that way, grew up homeless or something. This person is probably very interesting. I just got that too. Interesting, smart, sharp-witted. That's how they hide a lot of this, but also they know how to keep things off their record. Like they know, if they're rich, they know they might have lawyers and stuff. It might be that, but if they're not rich, they still know how to do things. That's all I'm saying. They know how to do things. Here's the thing. You need to know you intimidated this person. This person might sound intimidating, but you intimidated them. There was a quiet energy. I just got that. A quiet energy about you. An otherworldly sense. Something different. Just something different. You know what? I just got a new card deck here, and I'm going to use it here. Yes, it's cleansed. Some people are big on that. Yes, it's cleansed. It's called Messages of Cosmic Oracle Cards. 42 cards. For personal improvement, shadow work, stuff like that. So let's see. What is this about for you? What do you need to know? What message do you need? Take responsibility for your choices. This is your life to live. Own it. Wow. When you really just start taking responsibility and be like, all these things that happen to you, which it's one thing. Look, I know a lot of times we are the victim. Taking responsibility, at least now, for how it makes you feel. It's more about responsibility for how you react to the situation. Because obviously, sometimes things happen completely out of our control. Sometimes you were just randomly chosen for something. Okay? The responsibility is just to not let it control you then. Responsibility just may be the shadow work part of it and move on. It also could be that you have blamed yourself. And that's what a lot of people don't realize. Like even trauma, like a certain trauma I've talked about online where somebody coerced me into something. Nobody has even said this to me, but I think about this sometimes because people talk about playing the victim, and for so long I blamed myself. Like, no, I mean, for many years it was like blame myself until I realized, until people had to look me right in the eyes and say no. Especially because my brain hadn't even fully developed yet. You know, so many things when you're younger, and especially if somebody else is older, it's like they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing, especially if they've done it to other people. They know what to look for. Seriously, if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. That is true. The responsibility is, like I said, to also know that you can transmute this energy. You don't have to let trauma control you. You know, it's about not letting things control you, because for so long, I lived with this belief like trauma was a big mark on my life. Like trauma was just this massive, horrible mark on my life and I couldn't do anything about it. And it's like, you know what? I don't have to let that happen. That trauma brings in more trauma because we go through life thinking that for one reason, you know, for one thing. Because it's like we think, well, I just got to draw in more of that because we feel controlled by it, especially if we're talking about it too much. And I talk about that a lot here. There's no reason to keep triggering yourself over and over. A lot of times people do the shadow work, or depends on how you really define triggers, I guess. If it's like PTSD or shadow work or both, you know, like you can sort of wrap them both together. So however you want to define it, either way, it's about facing things. Like, because I've been in PTSD groups, okay, trauma groups. You do stuff like journal, write letters to the person who hurt you. No, there's not a bunch of hugging or anything like that. In fact, you don't even touch each other, the ones I've been in. You sign non-disclosure agreements, you sign privacy agreements. It's about shedding light, about sometimes hearing someone share in a group, just something about being heard in a private setting, in a safe setting, where you can talk about anything, expose it to the light, let other people weigh in, but only to the point where it's healthy. Look, you have to go to really good ones. I know I'm describing something, you're like, how do I find that? Look around, you'd be surprised. I've been to some at churches, at mental health facilities and stuff. Even certain 12-step groups, people run them that way. But really, people have to know what they're doing. Anyway, the point is, deal with your trauma, deal with your triggers, but you don't have to keep living life where you just talk about it and rewrite it over and over. Okay? You can let yourself think about other things. That can be the responsibility part of this. Because I keep going back to this card. Take responsibility for your choice. Like, yeah, this is your life to live. Own it. Like how you live going forward with this. You don't have to keep bringing it in. You don't have to keep talking about it. You don't have to keep thinking about it. Because when you keep thinking about it, it's like just more of it happens. Like I'm speaking from experience. If you want to see real change in your life, joy, peace in your life, feel free to let yourself believe for what you actually want, for what brings you joy. If you don't even know what brings you joy, start saying, I feel like I know what brings me joy. You know what? I started doing that and then it started coming to me because I didn't know either. And I'm starting to really experience that. Like, start saying, I feel like I know this. I feel like I know that. I feel like I believe this. Because it's about the heart-mind connection. I know I do a lot of I am affirmations, and I used to do a lot more here. And I'm going to do some of, well, you know what? Let's end with that. These are either I am or, you know, something present tense. But since I made these cards, and I made these a while back, I realize I feel, think about it, all the chakras. They all have different statements. I speak, I feel, I know, I believe. I love. I am connected to all, stuff like that. And I am is one of them. So think about that. You start saying, I feel like I am. I feel like I know. I feel like I believe. It's like you hit a few chakras. It's like playing a piano and you hit a few keys. Like, think about that. Because each one of those chakras corresponds to a note, too. And it starts over at 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. I feel like I know the right direction for my life. I feel like I know I am protected. I feel like I know I am safe. I feel like I know I can live without money. Because things just come to me when I need them. I feel like I know how to obtain free energy and how to change my life. I feel like I know the steps to take to move forward to a better life. Start saying stuff like that. Magical. I feel like I look younger. I've seen some massive movement. I'm just, oh my gosh, okay. You look much younger than your age came out when I said, I feel like I look younger. You know what? I'm going to do a video about that too, maybe on a different channel, about stuff that's been given to me. that helps me, but it also could be my belief in it. Okay, it could just be the fact that I believe it when I use this stuff. It's like, I know this is going to work. I know it's making me look younger. Like electrode stuff, like stuff that works on your face, stuff for my neck. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. Anyway, you look much younger than your age. Start speaking it. Okay, I know everybody wants a reading. You want to know what's going to happen and all this stuff. Look, I want you to start saying this. I feel like I know what's going to happen in my life. I feel like I know I am seeing with my inner eye. I feel like I believe I am seeing with my inner eye. Do you see how many statements I got in there? I feel, I know, I believe, I am. I see. I speak. I mean, you can do statements that just line them all up, or just combine them. I feel like I know I look younger all the time. Just say it. It's going to change your life. It's going to change your life. I feel like I know how to improve my life. Anyway, you look much younger than your age. It is spoken, it is written, and so it is. Amen.